Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. Now today I'm going to be back with part 3 of my Rarest Drops video series where I take submissions and scour the internet for the most insane rare drops to ever happen in old school RuneScape. Now today I have another awesome collection of images for you. Once again I'm kind of trying to diversify what pieces of content I get images from. So for example, it's not just all raids drops or stuff like that. Now, not all of these images are going to be back-to-back drops. Sometimes people have a ton of luck in a very short span of time, but not necessarily in the same kill or back-to-back. Once again, I'm going to be putting these loosely into the least rare to most rare order, but as a lot of these images aren't back-to-back, calculating the probability of that is way beyond my capabilities, so we're going to keep it simple. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and let's get started. Now to start things off here, we have a player by the name of DarkFawns, who we can see in this image here managed to get a beaver pet, the woodcutting pet, at level 2. They didn't even notice and they just kept chopping, but in the chat we can see that they got it about 2 logs before level 3. Now based on that, they probably only chopped 6 logs before they got the beaver pet, and they were obviously chopping regular logs. Now the base chance of getting a beaver pet from regular logs is 1 out of 317,000. Which means if they're on their 6th log, they probably had about a 1 in 53k or 1 in 50k chance of getting the beaver pet after 6 chops. Now I gotta say that low level skilling pets seem to be a lot more rare than their actual percentage drop chance would indicate. Yes, 1 in the 53k is pretty rare, but that's much lower than most of these other drops here. I guess there's a very short window where getting a beaver pet is actually noteworthy, and that closes very quickly. Like for example, a new account only has about 100 woodcutting chops before they are level 10, 12, 13, and it becomes much less noteworthy. And the only way to reset this is to make a new account, where when you compare that to other rare drops, you can keep grinding out the same boss and get a back-to-back drop later. But for skilling pets, you only get 1 chance per account. Now over the last month or so, I've had quite a few submissions for the Chambers of Xeric and the Theater of Blood, so I decided I would put a couple of them at the exact same tier or exact same number. Although I will say some of them are going to be later in the video because they are absolutely crazy. But first up here we have a player by the name of IDowns, who got a back-to-back at Chambers of Xeric in their own name. On raid number 96 they got a Twisted Buckler, on raid number 97 they got a Dragon Hunter Crossbow, and completing the back-to-back on raid number 98, they got an Ancestral Robe Bottom, which is really awesome. I so far have not found a back-to-back in one's own name. With that said though, I found a fairly old image back when the Dragon Throne Axe was actually still in the drop table of a back-to-back raid. Now it doesn't appear to be in the same person's name, but still that is really lucky. Or maybe really lucky. They ended up getting an Ancestral Robe Bottom, a Dragon Throne Axe, an Ancestral Robe Top, an Arcane, and a Dex. Alright, so next up here we have an image by DaddyDrex who managed to get a Bandos Chestplate and the Bandos Pet on the same kill. We've got a couple images like that so far, but my god, that's like the best possible drop you could get. The chance of getting any of the Bandos rare items like the Bandos Chestplate, Tassets, or Boots from Gridor is about a 1 out of 127, and the chance of getting the tertiary roll at the same time is 1 out of 5,000, which means the drop chance of this is roughly 1 out of 635,000, making it extremely rare and also a very ideal drop. So next up here we have a player by the name of Boba, which if you don't know is the censorship word that was used in Habbo Hotel. Thought I would throw that in there. Now this player probably is one of the best Saradomin trips I've seen in quite some time. Now to kind of set the stage here, this player has only killed Saradomin a handful of times, so altogether they are at a very low kill count to get any drop. But this player managed to pull 4 separate drops in around 20 kills. Now first up here at kill count number 19, they managed to get an Armadillo Crossbow, which is probably one of the most ideal drops to get from Saradomin. I mean, at least for GP value, because this person isn't an Iron Man. Beyond the Saradomin hilt, of course. Now 2 kills later, they managed to get another Armadillo Crossbow, which is another 30 mil right in the bank. That's not it though. At kill count 24, they managed to get the Saradomin pet, which has a 1 in 5,000 drop rate, so extremely lucky, and that's not even it. To finish things off, just a couple kills later on kill count number 36, they managed to pull another Armadillo Crossbow, finishing everything up with around 4 items and 17 kills. Now calculating the exact drop rate would be kind of hard, but the drop chance of a Armadillo Crossbow is 1 out of 508, and once again the Saradomin pet is 1 out of 5,000, so it's gotta be extremely rare. Alright, next up here we have another Chambers of Xeric drop, and this one is ridiculous for a couple of different reasons. Okay, now first up here, this player only had 7.2 thousand points, which really is not a lot for a raid, which means their chance of getting any drop is pretty damn low considering the amount of points they had. So they didn't have a lot of points, yet they managed to pull a purple, and not just any purple, they got a twisted bow, and on top of that, they got the omelet pet as well in one single drop, which is completely ridiculous. The chance of that happening with a normal amount of points is already insanely rare, but they had like half the chance or a third of the chance of even that player. And on top of that, someone else got a purple in the exact same raid, which makes this drop just absolutely ridiculous. Now, I don't know the exact drop chance, but the rate of getting a purple with around 7.2k points is gonna be somewhere around 1 in 50. So 1 in 50 of getting a purple, plus you gotta hit the twisted bow, plus then you gotta hit the ohm roll. Just kind of insane. So next up here we have a submission by Ferret, a player named Ferret, who managed to pull a back-to-back-to-back item at Zamorak. They managed to get a back-to-back-to-back Zamorak hilt. On kill count number 114, Zammy hilt. Kill count number 115, Zammy hilt. On kill count number 116, Zamorak hilt once again. Now no, that's not really the ideal drop to get even on an Ironman, because getting a Zamorak hilt is much more rare than, for example, the Zammy spear, which is worth around 4 or 5 times more. Now the chance of getting this individual rare back-to-back-to-back is about 1 in 131 million, although if you take into account any of the rares, it becomes much less, but still I'm rather impressed with this. So I didn't think it would ever happen, guys, but I finally got an image of something that is probably the best possible way to use your luck up, and that is a back-to-back twisted bow. Now, like I said, if you're going to go lucky somewhere and get a back-to-back item, you might as well get a twisted bow. At the current value of the twisted bow, that's worth actually probably more than max cash. Now, it looks like this player was doing it in a duo, and we don't actually have the drop from their perspective. So I guess there is a minute chance that this didn't happen back-to-back. Although they did send over a RuneLite picture of the Chambers of Xeric loot tab, showing a value of 2.27 bill of just 2 twisted bows. Now roughly with the amount of points that this person had, the chance of getting a twisted bow is around 1 in 1,000, 1,063 to be exact, which means the chance of getting a back-to-back twisted bow is around 1 in 1.1 million. But we really do have to keep in mind the fact that raids take at least 20 minutes. So maybe you get done 2 or 3 every hour, which means the chance of this happening is even more rare just because of how long it takes. Now, just breaking the top 3 here is a user by the name of Mofoe, and this was posted just a couple of days ago. Now, this player probably got the best possible combination of item drop and pet drop in the game. Now, this player was doing the Corporal Beast, and they managed to pull the Pet Dark Core Pet and an Elysian Spirit Shield in the exact same kill, which is ridiculous. The Elysian being the best possible drop you could get almost in the game, and definitely the best one from the Corporal Beast. Plus, they managed to get the Pet Dark Core in the exact same kill. And once again, Corporal Beast is something that takes a long time to kill if you're doing it solo. Now, the Ellie has a much rarer drop chance than the Arcane or Spectral. The chance of getting the Elysian Spirit Shield and the pet in the exact same kill is about 1 in 20.5 million. Now, based on the Reddit thread, I don't think this person was actually doing it solo. They were doing it in the FFA Corp CC, and apparently this is the first time anyone has seen this happen before. And people kill a lot of Corporal Beasts, so this has got to be extremely rare. Now, this next image here is actually coming in at number 2. However, it originally was supposed to be in the number 1 spot. However, I severely misread another image that someone submitted, and unfortunately it got bumped down. But still, nonetheless, this has got to be the luckiest hardcore Ironman I've ever seen. Coming in at number 2 is a player by the name of Yet to Die, and they managed to get something insane on their very first kill ever. They managed to get the Ceradomin pet and a Ceradomin sword drop on kill count number 1. That is like combining 2 of the rarest possible outcomes. You got it on the very first kill, and you managed to get 2 drops in a single kill. Now, the pet Ziliana drops at a rate of 1 out of 5,000, and the Sarah sword is fairly common at 1 out of 127. So that together, it probably wouldn't give it the number 2 spot, but the fact that they got it in kill count number 1, and also the fact that they are a hardcore Ironman just adds to it even more. Ceradomin is not the most dangerous boss, but still is fairly dangerous. So this hardcore Ironman is off to a very good start, and maybe one of the few hardcore Ironmans to have the Ziliana pet, and surely one of the most lucky hardcore Ironmans in the entire game. Now, taking the number 1 spot by a fairly significant margin is an Ironman by the name of AbitDunk. Now, like I said earlier, I kind of misread this image and I had it at number 6 or 7 initially, but I don't think you're going to believe this. So on kill count number 113, this player manages to get the King Black Dragon pet, which has a drop rate of 1 out of 3,000. That's very lucky. They got it on kill count number 113. So they were pretty stoked with that. However, they go back and get another kill. Kill number 114. They managed to get the Dragon Pickaxe and the pet again. So they got a back-to-back pet, which is already extremely rare. I've seen only a couple of images of a back-to-back pet, but on top of that, they managed to pull a Dragon Pickaxe with the second pet, which on its own is already an insanely rare drop. The Dragon Pickaxe has a drop rate of 1 out of 1,500, and the pet has a drop rate of 1 out of 3,000, which means just that second drop on its own has a chance of happening of around 1 out of 4.5 million. But now we gotta take into account they got a pet the kill before that, which means this player probably is the second luckiest player in the history of RuneScape. This would happen at a rate of around 1 in 13.5 billion. It's just hard to believe that someone can get that lucky. I think the only image so far that would be rarer than this is the Zulrah drop. And at that point, I'm not even sure because that was calculating all of these very specific drops. The King Black Dragon only has one good unique drop, and that is the Dragon Pickaxe. So yeah, I still can't quite believe it. Anyway guys, that is going to be it for today's video. If you have any other awesome rare submissions you want to put into a future video, feel free to hit me up on Discord, send me an email, leave a comment, tweet me if you feel like it. I'm always taking in submissions for a future video, and if you want to be featured, go ahead and send it in. Thanks for watching guys, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.